Hi everybody, it's me, Corrie T, and today I've got a really special story to tell you that I hope will inspire you and remind you to keep going and persisting and hold your vision, because anything is possible. And after you hear this story, you're gonna know that too. So I am talking to you today from Italy. Beautiful Italy, where I live right now with my boyfriend. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you the beginning of the story, where I was, the bit where it was rubbish and I was in lack and I didn't know how the hell my creation in my head was ever going to come to life. And then I'm going to talk about the journey of how we got there. But in the middle of that, I'm going to show you the actual clip of when the specific visualization and manifestation that I've been thinking about in my head actually came to life, because my person filmed it, which is so cool. So it's really cute, and this is a really lovely story, and I hope that it's gonna inspire you. Right, so let's go back to the beginning. Me and my person, we had this thing where it was like on and off and, you know, time apart, and then we'd be together again, and it just never really worked. And I never could work out why that was. I always blamed the outside, I always blamed him, I always thought it was his fault, and never looked within about how I was thinking about things and what I was actually assuming and creating within myself. So we were on and off, and the last time was awful because we were together, we had the most amazing time, and then he took a job in the other side of the world. And it wasn't long before he was at the other side of the world with another person. So we don't even need to think about that, because I always knew that it was irrelevant, right? And yes, there were times of doubt and like, why? And this is annoying. But really deeply, I did know that we were going to be together. Basically, I took that time for me and I came to Italy and I did a lot of work on myself. And I had this imagination when I was here, and I used to stand here. And I used to imagine him being here with me. And there's a little place up there where people put locks on the thing, love locks, and they put initials on and they lock their love on there. And I used to think, me and him are going to come here together and we're going to put a lock on that specific place, and it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to live here together, and that's what's going to happen. I used to imagine it and visualize it, and it just used to make me feel better. That's the reason why I did it. It used to make me feel better, and I used to feel good about that imagination and that little dream that I was having. Anyway, last week, that's what happened. We put the love lock on the little place up there which overlooks this beautiful area. So here's the clip of that actually happening that he filmed. This is a little lock and it says JB.
JB loves CT. What are you going to do with it?
Look.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Where will it go? Where will it go? Let's put it here. There we go. Now, we're locked there now, forever and ever.
So if we ever come back, it'll still be there, won't it?
It happened, it literally happened. But the journey to get there was crazy and deep and internal and a whirlwind. So let's go back to the beginning of that. I came to Italy on my own, and I spent a lot of time on my own. I spent a lot of time researching, looking at videos and looking at self-love, something that I hadn't really fully understood before, okay? So I had to do a lot of work within myself to make myself feel good, because it's true, I felt awful that he'd gone and we were separated again. It was like, why? And I felt awful. I cried a lot, and I knew that I had to make myself feel better. So I did things, first of all, to make myself feel better. I did a lot of self-love meditations. I focused on myself, my music, my songwriting. I did a lot of journaling, and I did a lot of talking to other people, trying to get involved with the culture here, just trying to have my own life and my own experience. These were things that were really important to making me feel more stable and just more sane, when really I was thinking about him, you know, a lot of the time. So I had to like stabilize myself. That was the first thing. the next thing I did was I ignored anyone who told me something opposite to the thing that I was creating. So if people started saying to me things like, you know what, you deserve better, and yeah, first of all, I know I deserve better. I know that I deserve to be with someone who wants to be in the same place with me and just be with me all the time. That's something that I know. That's why I'm creating it. So that's something that I ignored, the people who were trying to steer me away from the thing that I wanted, which was to be together with him and for us to be happy and harmonious and in love with each other and just stay together. I surrounded myself with a few people, limited people, who really understood and really got manifestation. So I stuck with those people because they made me feel good. And there were two people in particular who I spoke to a lot, and we just had so much fun, you know, manifesting with each other and for each other and together, and imagining things that we wanted to create, you know, with our own lives. And we would just message on like Instagram, and like I had one friend here in Italy as well who just became like a co-creator with me, and she used to lift me up every time I was doubting and thinking, oh my god, like where is it, when's it coming, when's this manifestation gonna actually happen, am I crazy, is this all a load of nonsense? She'd be like, no, she's like, I just believe it. If you don't believe it, I believe it. And so it's something that, you know, I'd really recommend, is having someone that you can talk to who really gets manifestation and like letting them lift you up. You know, it's like having someone there for you when on your down days. It's like having a coach, but you're not paying because they're your mate, you know. And it's so fun to do that. So me and her, we talked a lot. I had someone else who I've actually never met, who I met on one of these manifestation forums, who became a really good friend, and we were talking each other through quite difficult times together, and literally her manifestation happened before my eyes, and it was amazing. It was so cool to watch. And then, you know, she kept encouraging me no matter how bleak and empty it looked. I mean, me and my person were not talking. We weren't even talking. It was just complete silence. We were in opposite ends of the country. He was of the world. He was with someone else. It was just crazy in some ways, you know, for other people to think that I might think that he might come to Italy and be here with me and live with me, and that all of these things that I'd created would come to life. So anyway, I kept persisting. I kept like, you know, I didn't want to let it go because, you know, I deserve everything. And I taught myself that by then, you know, I deserve everything I want, and I can have everything I want, and worthy of the love that I want. And I kept affirming these things. So I did a lot of positive like affirmations, a lot of visualizations. So what I did was I just kept on going back to feeling good every time. And I've got to tell you that honestly, it wasn't easy. And when I'd see people on, you know, forums and groups and stuff saying, oh, I've had movement, and like the thing that I'm creating is finally happening, I think, why isn't it happening for me? Like, it just felt like everyone else was really getting it and I was missing something. The thing was, I wasn't missing anything. Everything was unfolding exactly as it should have been, and I was learning all the time, even when I didn't realize it. So that's something for you to know, is that even when it feels like nothing's happening, just trust what's happening behind the scenes, because it's all unfolding exactly as it should. And it just goes back to you, you know, goes back to feeling good about yourself and feeling positive and moving forward, and just like getting back into the feeling good state as often as possible, and allowing yourself, you know, I had to allow myself to cry. I had to allow myself to feel everything that I wanted to feel. And I had to go through a phase of obsession. I went through a phase of like proper obsession about this, which was a little bit unhealthy, you know, watching videos all the time, needing reassurance all the time that, you know, I wasn't crazy, that, you know, I could get what I wanted. And then I had to really understand it wasn't the external thing that I thought was going to make me happy. It was me. It was all coming from within me, and that was a deep sort of shift within my being that I had to understand deeply, that everything that I want comes from within me. Everything, every kind of feeling that I could ever get comes from within me. You know, I had to really deeply understand that. So we're going to do some more videos about that. Okay, there's so much to talk about. This is like the bite-sized, like short story of like how this all came to be. Everything was reflecting what I was feeling about myself. So I had to like, look, am I feeling good about myself today? No. Extra self-love then today. You know, it was kind of like he wasn't going to do it for me. Honestly, I'm telling you now, even now that I'm with him and we're together, he can't jump into my body and make me feel anything. You know, he can't do that. It's impossible. And so I've realized that it all comes from within me, and it's an ongoing journey of persisting in this self-love thing that has to last forever, right? So I had to understand that. So honestly, there were days where it was really hard, and I'm telling you this because there are people who might be watching this who are like, I don't know how to feel good, I just still feel bad. It doesn't matter. There were so many days where I felt really bad, and I used to think, oh, am I manifesting the opposite of what I want? Like, am I supposed to feel good all the time? No, you're not. Are you supposed to believe it 100% of the time? No. Like, it's just, honestly, so it is quite simple, even though it doesn't ever feel simple at the time. But the truth is, I think the one belief that you've got to have is that everything is unfolding for me exactly as it should be all the time. That's something that just makes perfect sense. Like, everything is unfolding exactly as it should, perfectly all the time. And just remember that, because even like the day before we were talking, I had a wobble. I was feeling not great. I was missing him or something like that. But really, I didn't realise that all of the stuff that I'd been doing, all of the things like the affirmations, the visualizations, the conversations that I'd been having, they actually had done something, you know. And sometimes you just don't know if it's working. You don't know if anything's happening. Just trust that it is. It is. Just do it. Do the self-love stuff as much as you can. Whenever you feel wobbly, just trust that the self-love stuff is doing something very powerful for your world, okay? So anyway, the story went that we started talking again. We started saying, I miss you, you know, all of this stuff. Before I knew it, we were both flying back to England, you know, not because we'd asked each other to, but just because that's what happened. The universe moved that way. We both went back to England. Then I was at his family house again, you know, because we'd been talking on FaceTime and reconnecting and all of this stuff. And I was back at his family house, and we were back together again. So it all seamlessly kind of slid into place that we were just together again. Official on Facebook and everything, you know, it was kind of crazy. And then we decided to take a job in Dubai, because we were like, oh, we need to work. What should we do? Oh, here's a job in Dubai teaching. Let's go. We went to Dubai for 5 weeks. Oh, by the way, I should say that this whole process, the time that it took, I went to Italy in September. We were still talking until like December last year. And then there was like a 6-month break where we weren't, no, five-month break where we weren't talking. So like 5 months of like pure separation, really. And then in May we started talking again, and then June we were together again, and like everything unfolded like that. So it took about 5 months, which is not really very long. So we went to Dubai, we worked there for 5 weeks, and then the pandemic got in the way of our job there, so we had to leave. So I was like, what should we do? I know, why don't we go to Italy? And it just so happened that the flat that I lived in before, where I'd been missing him and manifesting and wanting him to be there and creating all of these things in my head, happened to still be free. So, you know, I said, oh, can we move in there for, you know, a while when we come to Italy? And it was fine. So now we're living in the flat that I was missing him in and wishing he was there and imagining that he was there and stuff. And it literally blew my mind. Like, how crazy that the story went, that rather than him coming to me and, like, you know, getting on a plane and declaring his love for me, you know, it hadn't worked that way. But that's fine, because it still worked. All the roads lead to Rome, as they say, which is one of my favourite sayings because I love Rome. All the roads lead to Rome. Some of them are longer than others, some of them shorter than others, but they all lead to the same place. And we literally went to Rome. So we flew from Dubai to Rome, which was an absolute dream for me. You know, for me to be in Rome with him, my person, who I've always wanted to go to Rome with, was just so cool. And then to come here and walk around the streets that I'd been imagining us taking photos together, and, like, you know, everything. It all just happened, like, all of it. And, you know, we're so together now, so together. We, like, completely love each other, and we're, you know, having such a great time. It was just really cool that this all just came together like that. So basically, the moral of the story is just persist. I didn't know how this was all going to unfold. Some days I didn't know if it ever would, but I did, the majority of the time, absolutely know that somehow, some way we would be together again, right? So that's what you have to know. Just trust that the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Let go as much as you can. Do the self-love stuff. If there's a third party around or someone else involved, literally never ever look at their Facebook account. I don't even know what that girl looks like, and I don't care because she's not me. So like, who cares who she is? It doesn't matter. Bye. Just don't give them any focus at all, because you're saying this person is more important than me, and that's just not true. You're the most important person, and that's it. That's the end of the story. So anyway, if you want to talk to me more about it, there's so many more things that I can tell you, so many more things, and we can go on about this for hours and hours. But I just wanted to give you that to uplift you today and remind you that it's all unfolding. Don't worry, keep going, have a good day. Like, trust the process. Everything that you're doing, all this self-love stuff, is leading you to amazing things and like miraculous stuff that you don't know how it's going to unfold. But that's the magic of it, isn't it? That's the magic of it. If you knew exactly what was going to happen, it would be very boring. And it's so fun playing with the universe like this. So enjoy it, enjoy the process, enjoy the uncertainty, because that brings you so many surprises. So thanks for listening. If you want to talk to me more, send me an email. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. There's a link below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.